Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chad. I'm your Tall Tailor. Today we're going to be cropping another jacket. In this previous, well, I don't know if this is going to be a series, but in the previous video where I cropped another jacket, somebody left a comment saying, oh, to the effect of, can you do this with like synthetic material or a synthetic jacket? And yeah, you can. Depending on the jacket, the process might be a little bit different. If it's like waterproof, you might have to tape some of the seams, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to show you guys pretty much how to crop another jacket. Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in this video. A couple of things that make this jacket a little bit different and a little bit more complex than something you might see are three things in particular. The first being that it has a lining, so it's not just a shell, one layer. It's got two layers, an exterior layer and an interior layer. It's got a lining. The second thing is that it has zippers, right? It's got like a main zipper down the front, so if you're a little bit uncomfortable trimming, cutting zippers, that might be something that you want to take note of. And the third thing is it has pockets. Now what you could do, and I see a lot of people do like online and stuff, is that whenever they have pockets in their jacket, just kind of like cut the pockets. We're not going to be doing that. We're going to be moving the pockets. We're going to be shifting the pockets up on the body of the jacket. This isn't something that you have to do, obviously, but the pockets also have zippers, so they're going to be a little bit more of a complex, complicated kind of thing. But I'll walk you through it to make sure that it's nice and simple and that, you have a good end product. All right. Now, why would you want to crop or shorten a jacket? Because you want it shorter. I don't know. I know what to say. But yeah, anyway, cropping a jacket and stuff like that, making it a little bit shorter can help with a lot of proportions on your body. If you have something that's a little bit longer and you're more of a shorter person, a longer jacket, it'll make you look a little bit, it's like a little bit shorter. It'll shorten your legs and it'll elongate your torso. So if you want to crop a jacket, make it a little bit shorter so it sits on your waist in a more flattering place, it'll make you look a little bit more, not stretched out, that's the wrong word. It'll make you look like more proportioned, I'd say. But it's something that you don't have to do to, every jacket, obviously. I know it's a big trend right now to crop your stuff, crop your jacket. I see people doing it online, flannels, dress shirts, jackets, denim stuff, a whole bunch of stuff like that. Man, it is really hot in here. Holy, I need to bust out a fan or something. Anyway, that's enough talking. Let's get to sewing.
So here's what that jacket looks like so far. Standard length, front zipper, and zipper pockets. So let's change it up. First thing that we're going to do is remove the main zipper of the jacket. As always, I'm using a razor blade as well as a seam ripper here, making sure not to cut the fabric. The zipper is attached to both the shell of the jacket as well as the lining, so I do have to make sure I remove it from both parts of the jacket. Alright, so here's what the jacket looks like with the zipper off, and you can see all the layers here, the shell as well as the lining and some of the interior parts as well. Now that we have the zipper, we can just set this aside for now and work on the rest of the jacket. Taking a closer look, we can see the zipper pockets, and this is where we're going to focus our attention for now. And the first thing I'm doing is using my seam ripping tools, my razor blade, my seam ripper, to take apart the pocket. With both pockets off, we can just set these aside for now. Here you can see the line I drew with chalk on the jacket. We're just going to be making sure that we cut right along this line. And drawing the line on your jacket, you do want to make sure that you take into account the seam allowances so that your line that you draw is going to be a little bit lower than the final length that you want. Cutting is pretty straightforward. We just make sure we stay on the line and go slowly, especially when we're around the pockets. Now we're going to move the pockets. So depending on the size of your pocket, this will look a little bit different. Right now, I'm just tracing out the pocket holes with some chalk and cutting them out with my scissors and my snips for the corners, as well as folding them in and ironing them. Now I'm just placing the pocket bags back in their holes, lining them up, as well as securing them with some pins. And with all the pins in place, I can take this to the sewing machine and stitch everything down. Here's what the pockets look like with everything stitched into place. And with that done, I can now focus on covering up this hole at the bottom right here. Covering up the hole is pretty straightforward. We're just measuring how much fabric we need and cutting a square of fabric that same size just to cover up the hole here. Coming back to the machine, this is what it looks like, and I'll just trim off the excess material here. Zooming out, this is what the jacket looks like with all the pockets back into place and the shell cut. But you can still see the lining is the same size, so we're just going to work on cutting the lining next. Now this is what the square looks like from a different angle as well as the underside of the material. Cutting the lining is pretty similar to cutting the shell of the jacket, so we're pretty much going to do exactly the same thing that we did with the shell. And here's what the jacket looks like with everything cut. And with all that done, all we have left to do is attach the zipper. But as you can see, the zipper is too long, so now we do have to trim it. But before then, we're just folding up and pinning the hem of the jacket. The hem of the jacket is going to depend on your specific jacket and how short you want to make it, but I'm just adding a 1.5 inch hem because that's the exact same hem that was on the jacket previously. Now we can start working on the zipper. I'm just measuring the length of the jacket and I'll make sure that the zipper is that exact same length. This is a two-way separating zipper, so we'll have to trim from the top. We'll just mark the length of our zipper And we need to cut off about an inch above that length that we marked. And before we cut, we do want to make sure that we pull the zipper slider down so we don't accidentally cut it off. This part may be a bit more challenging, but we'll just need to be taking off the zipper stoppers at the top of the zipper and reattach them to our shortened ones. I'm using pliers to make this job much easier. I'm also pulling out the zipper's teeth so that we do have the space on the zipper tape, so it can be a lot easier to reattach the zipper stoppers. Now that the zipper is done, we can now pin it to the jacket. So pinning it all the way down and making sure to get the lining as well as the shell. And with that done, we can take it to the machine and stitch everything down. With the zipper stitched down, we can now focus on sewing up the remainder of the hem of the jacket lining. So we're just stitching the jacket lining to the shell of the jacket and attaching the bottom of the zipper. And with that done, you can now give it a test, and we're pretty much done the jacket.
And we're done. I'll show some B-roll of the jacket. If I have any on body, I don't think I do because I gave the jacket away by the time of filming this. If I have any on body, I'll show it right here. Yeah, that's what the jacket looks like. Just a couple things that I do want to, say when you're sewing this. This is a little bit more of a complex project, so patience is key. Don't stress yourself out. Don't go too fast. Always make sure you know what you're doing before you cut anything, of course. Double check your measurements before you make the jacket shorter or anything like that. Because once you cut it, it's not done, but it's like, if you want to fix it, you've made the problem a lot harder. You want to end up fixing it, but always just make sure before you cut anything, before you stitch anything, always think oh shoot, is this really what I want to do? Double check your measurements to make sure everything is nice and correct. One thing I do also want to bring up is I cropped another, not jacket, it's like an overshirt. This is something I thrifted. It's like an Eddie Bauer overshirt. It's like a double XL, so it's a little bit big on me. The shoulders kind of drop a bit. I really like how it fits. This one's a lot easier than what we're what we were doing in the video. It's got a button placket here, and so there's not really anything I have to work around when making it shorter. You can see I just made it shorter and the same length, right? It's like sits right on my waist. And with that extra fabric, I made a small little pocket. Small little pocket at the back. Yeah, so I'll just wear this as like an overshirt. It's like a cool color, a denim. I do want to try dyeing a couple of the articles of clothes I have. I want to dye it brown. I've had a bottle of Rit dye. I don't know if you can see it. There. I've had a bottle of Rit dye. That's like denim blue and that's chocolate brown for the longest time. I think I bought this last year probably because I wanted to dye something. I just never got around to doing it. I wanted to dye like a white bucket hat, but I never got around to doing it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the video in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Next video, next video, we're gonna be doing a sewing machine review of my Singer Heavy Duty, which, yeah, I've had this machine for a while. Anyway, thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.